it's Ashley with At Home with Ashley, and I have someone to introduce you to this week. This is Teddy, our new puppy. It's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and I'm so excited. We had Cavaliers years ago, but they died of old age and just like sickness, and we're finally ready for a puppy. So you might be seeing him in our videos, so I thought I would introduce you to this little cutie. This week, what we are doing is removing wallpaper, and we're going to test out 4 different methods as the best way. So in my laundry room, I recently put in new mosaic floors, and I love the floors, but they kind of clash with the wallpaper. I just don't love them together. So I ordered new wallpaper, which means we need to take down the old wallpaper first. One thing I want to say about wallpaper is old wallpaper is going to be harder to remove. So if you have something from the 80s or the 90s, it's going to be trickier because it's going to come off in smaller pieces. Why? Because over time, the wallpaper gets brittle, and the adhesive, just the longer it sits, the harder it gets. So because of those 2 reasons, it's going to be harder. And now when they create wallpaper, they really create it with taking it down in mind. So a lot of people will be like, aren't you scared to take down that wallpaper? No, I'm not. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to remove. So the first thing we got to do is prep. We're taking down all the art in the room, anything that's on top of the wallpaper, including the light switch covers. And with the light switch covers, I'm also putting tape over the top of those because this is a watery process and you don't want to get, liquid inside of your electrical outlets. I'm putting drop cloths on the floor, and that is what I'm doing for prep. Next, with all of the methods, what you need to start with is this scoring tool. And you're going to take it and you're going to rub it on the wall, and it makes circles and it puts holes in the wallpaper, and that makes it so the liquid we're going to do on the next step will penetrate to the adhesive so it's easier to remove. So you just roll this on in circle motions over all of your wallpaper. It makes a horrible noise, but it's a necessary step, and honestly it's pretty easy. Okay, so what we're going to use is number 1, white vinegar, and number 2, fabric softener. So I'm using fabric conditioner, but it's the same thing. And for the fabric softener, you're going to fill up the bottle 1/4 of the way full, and then you're going to fill the rest with hot tap water. And then for the vinegar, you're going to do 1/3 full of the bottle, and then the rest hot tap water. And you can use any bottle you want. You just use the same proportions. Super easy. And then you take those to the wall, and I like using them while they're hot. They work best. The heat kind of makes the adhesive break down better. And so you spray those on and you're going to saturate it. You're going to start from the bottom and work your way down and wait 15 minutes, and then you're going to start pulling it off. Don't wait longer than that because these will dry up and then they won't work so well. So you're going to have to respray if you wait longer and they're all dry. So start peeling. Honestly, we put trim over my wallpaper, and so getting it down at first was a little bit tricky, and then I cut it with an X-Acto knife. That ended up being the longest part of this whole process because peeling it down was pretty easy once it was all saturated and I had waited long enough. I also tested out using a steamer, and what you're supposed to do with that is put your steamer on and you're going to saturate the wallpaper, and then once it's all nice and wet, you're going to start pulling it off. The problem I found is this is so much more labor intensive. With the other ones, you spray it, you let it saturate, you walk away for a while. With this one, you kind of have to hold it on, and it's heavy, and you're up on a ladder, so it takes longer, and I just didn't like it. So after I tried it for one and it didn't really work for me, I moved on. This could be because I am just using my at-home clothes steamer. There are steamers specifically for wallpaper that start at like $60-$70. So if you bought that, that should go much better. And if you are doing old wallpaper, I would suggest trying a steamer. I did end up liking the other options better. So out of the store-bought option, the vinegar and the fabric softener, I ended up liking the fabric softener the best. So it worked about the same as the vinegar, but it definitely smelled better. So the vinegar works great too. So if that's all you have at home, that'll be great. It just smells like vinegar, which is not the best. I didn't love the store-bought one because I felt like the gel didn't penetrate the wallpaper as well as the other ones did, and I ended up with the most drywall damage on these ones. So for me, that's like an immediate, I don't like this. I had to pay for it and then it didn't work as well, at least in my experience. And I followed the directions exactly as the bottle said, but it didn't work as well. So if I was to do this again, I'd just do an at-home option. I also tested out using a wallpaper scraper, And maybe it's because I have removed so much wallpaper and I've just used my hands or a putty knife, but I didn't like it. So it didn't work to pull up the wallpaper for me. I found it like more work than just using a fingernail and pulling it with my hand. And so I kept trying to use it and then it just didn't work great. So I regretted buying it. So I personally wouldn't recommend using this tool. So I wanted to show you the walls now that everything is down and they're a little bit beat up. And part of the reason, well, I think 99% of the reason is because I didn't prep the drywall well. So when we did this project, we were in a huge hurry. We drywalled, I painted it, and then we wallpapered within like a very short amount of time. So with paint, after you paint, you need to let it dry for almost a month before it's okay to wallpaper. With primer, you can wait 24 hours. So now I've been priming and then wallpapering. Um, I was like, I should fix this. I should do this the right way. I should like do some drywall repair and then some primer. And then I was like, I don't think there's a point because the wallpaper I'm using totally covers it. And if I was painting, then I would do the drywall repair. But since it's not showing with the wallpaper, I'm going to move on. Okay, I spent a day putting up the wallpaper and I chose a dog wallpaper, which I picked it out before we even knew we were getting Teddy, and they look so cute together. Anyway, the wallpapering in that room is a pain in the butt because there's an angle, like part of it's really high and there's trim to go around and lots of windows. But I got it done in one day and now it's up and I thought I would show you the finished result because that's the fun part. And I think it looks really good. It's a lot of look. It's a little bit more busy than before, so my eye needs to get used to it. But I think it looks really nice, and I think the dogs are so fun. But I would love to know what you think of the wallpaper in the comments. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already, please subscribe.